and just add a rectangle. Now what I want for this rectangle, I want to turn it to white. So I want to go over here and fill, I'm going to set it to white, which is not much good with a white background. You think, well, yeah, that's true. But what you can do, you can also add, obviously, now I can't see the other one, so it makes it a bit tricky, but let's just go for green. Doesn't have to be green, it could be red. Let's just go for orange. And now what you can see, you've got that design and you've also got the other one there. So you've got two designs. I can join them together, I can merge them. Because I'm going to now have a border, because one of the features that's really slightly odd in the pattern layer feature is that there's no border of feature. But you can quickly create one. Simply just add a white shape around it. So a little bit of a workaround, but it's until they add a feature of a border around it. So a layer, and you can then merge visible. So I'm just going to merge them together. So I merge them together, and you can see then, now I don't need those now, so I'm just going to remove those. So I've got that design. So you've got white and you've got the orange. What you can then do, you can go over here to a layer, and you can go down to new pattern layer from selection. And as soon as you do that, you can see what happens. You get all of them nicely spaced out because there's no spacing feature or border. It would be nice. I hope they introduce that. It would be really brilliant. However, what you can do, you can put mirror on. Just go over here to the top corner. There's mirror. I prefer mirror to the basic default. And once you've done that, you can of course resize. You can do all those sort of things. It's a pixel layer, so you can push it obviously too far. But it's obviously, now just get rid of the previous one as well. But what you can also do is you can apply a blur effect to this, a zoom blur. What you can do, go to filters and go to blur and zoom blur. And you can see straight away what you've got, that design there. And you can change the origin point. You can simply just drag around, move around, and you can see as you change, you can create all kinds of really weird. Now, I've just gone for an orange shape there. I could go for maybe a gradient, maybe go for maybe up multiple shapes, multiple coloured shapes in that design. Anything's possible. So you could and also I've gone for a rectangle. Could easily be circles, triangles, whatever. So you've got that. Always remember, once you've done things, just move it around, is to click apply. Because I quite often, what I do, I just sort of go off and think, oh, I can do that. And it, of course, just cancels the effect. I don't want that. So click apply there. Now you've got your design. It's still, of course, a pattern layer. And you can resize this. So you can rotate it around. So if you want to, you can just go a certain point. And you think, right, that's enough. Well, what I can do, I can now go down here to merge visible. So it's just merged, it's pixel layer, and I can remove that one. So I've just got that design now. It's basically rasterized, it's a pixel layer, and now what I can do, I can apply additional effects. I can use this design as a layer, as a pattern layer as well. So with that selected, you can see that over here in layers. I didn't show view, studio, and layers, just down there. Just go to the layer menu and then just go to new pattern layer from selection. And you can see now I've got that. Again, go up to the top and there's this mirror option. So I'm going to select that on again. And what I can do, I can now, if I can find it, there it is. Sometimes I'm sort of end up looking around for it. It's of course the whole thing. That helps. See what you can see, you can just resize it of course, and you've got that nicely blurred design there. And also you've got that mirror option there. If you didn't have the mirror on, it would end up like that, which I don't think is as good. The mirror just creates it. I wish that was the default, but it isn't, unfortunately. So the default is, now just change that. So once you've done that, of course, what you can do, you can apply effects to that, or you could again rasterize that if you want. But you also can go to filters and blur and zoom blur again. And you can see then, now it's slightly slower, and this is, you know, it does slow it down. Even the M1 Mac gets slightly sluggish when it's hits with a bit of a, of course I have no idea all about, I think the code for Affinity Photo has been converted to M1 Mac native, but obviously clearly this zoom blur takes it out, even this, and you can just see it's just, and this is only using 96.8, so if I pushed it to up to 400, who knows. You can reduce it down of course, and you can see the effect then. And you can create all kinds of nice blurry effects that way. And again, you can stop it, you just reach a certain point, and always remember again to click apply, because if you don't, you're going to lose it. So you might find a great effect and then you just go and do something and then you've lost your effect. So click apply. And then you've got your design there. And again, you can still resize that. You can still rotate it. And of course, once you're happy with that, what you can do exactly the same as before. You can always just quickly go and merge. Now, sometimes I must admit, I get often quite confused which one I should use. Merge down, merge visible, rasterize. The choices, too many choices. However, just go with merge visible, and generally that always seems to be the one that works, but sometimes it's not, and you can always undo and then go and do the rasterize. One of them will work in the way that you think it should work. And now, of course, you've got this design. Now you can remove those. And of course, what you can do other things, of course. You don't have to keep it like that. You can always go to filters and maybe go to distort and deform. And you can deform and distort that like that. And of course, once you've done that, you can then, of course, do exactly the same thing. You've got layers. You can still go over here, layers, and of course, new pattern layer, etc. And that's just all comes from a very basic shape. Now I'm just going to undo all this. Let's just remove it. That's going to be easier than going all the way back. Again, what you can do, any other shape as well. Simple thing. Again, I'm going to go with that quickly. And I'm going to turn that into white background. But I'm just going to quickly go with some other shapes. So let's just quickly go and change that to blue. And I could get the swatches up. That would be quicker. View, Studio, and swatches. So you've got swatches there, and go for colours. And I'll just quickly click there, click there, click there. Just go through it. Just going to quickly create some shapes. Now, what of course would be more sensible would be to create this in another document and copy it in. But you can quickly do this, and you got some shapes in. So once you've done that, I'm not going to go with white. That's not much use, because I'm going to turn this background now into white. Again, exactly the same as before. So I've got that design. Now what I can do, again, as before, layer, merge visible. So it's all merged into one, and I'm just going to remove all the other ones. I wish the merge visible would have a default of just clearing all those down as well. It's just weird that they don't. But you've got this design now. Now what you can do, of course, again, you can go over here. You can go to a layer, new pattern layer from selection. So the whole lot, this layer will be done now. And you've got this design now. And you can see now the design across there. Let's just remove that now. I don't want it. And you can simply see, and you can resize it, rotate. But of course, what you can do, select that. What you can do, you can go over here to filters, and you can go to blur, and again, zoom blur. And you can see the design there. Now, it's not what I want, because what I want is mirror. Mirror is helpful. You don't do mirror, it doesn't work so well. Mirror works best with this zoom blur. So filters, you don't have to. Of course, you could have the breaks. That's what you want. What you can do, you've got blur and zoom blur. And you can see then you've got the design there. And you can see as you change that, how it all changes very quickly there. Of course, it's slightly duller because of the blurring effect. But you can also, of course, go and tweak that. You can go and add adjustment layers, tweak the colours up in numerous ways. But say you've got a nice design that you like, and you can still click apply there. And you can reduce that down and rotate. And again, once you're happy with everything, you can always go to layer, and you can merge visible. So it's all good. You've got a lovely design there. And again, I say, just quickly go over to, now that's on the top there on the layer. Go to layer, new adjustment layers, and maybe go for levels. Or maybe go for curves, whatever. Just run through that. Gradient map. You can create all kinds of weird and wonderful, colourful designs. I'm not going to do that, but you could, of course, do that. And again, go for layer, new adjustment layer, maybe levels. And you can tweak settings here and just get it slightly different there. Up to you. And of course, you've got other options. You've got red, you can tweak it. So you can change that as well if you want. And of course, then you can flatten the whole thing as well. So that's it. Run through of how you can create some very interesting designs from very basic shapes. Just a very basic, like a rectangle, and maybe in this case a couple of rectangles, but certainly a rectangle. But it could be, of course, stars. It could be shapes. It could be shapes you've created. Whole heaps of different designs. Combine it with pattern layers. Combine it with the zoom blur, and you can create some very interesting sort of background designs like this. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always adding new tutorials all the time about Photoshop, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Publisher, Illustrator, and many others. If you've got any questions, any comments, always great. Please put some, and maybe I didn't explain something well. So let me know. Also, a dislike or like, always appreciated either way. Thank you much.